I want to show you in this video how to create spatial metadata for a document by georeferencing some of the images from within it. So this is a really good way of building up a spatially searchable document database from a set of private documents that you might have. And currently it's only available on private document databases. So to do that, I've got one of my private datasets showing here, and this image in the lower middle, we can see there's no spatial data associated with that because there's no spatial button active in the thumbnail. So I'm going to georeference that image. So let's just go ahead and do that. So I hit georeference. I know this is from close to White Dam in South Australia. So let's use that as the starting location. Let's just blow that up to full screen to make it a little bit easier. And then I'm going to use the control point mode to actually georeference this particular document. So select a point up in the top left corner of the image and type in the X and Y coordinates for that. This one's a little bit tricky because it doesn't label everything, but each indent sector looks to be about 6,000 meters. So that should be 39,000 and 644,400. And then select a corner, the opposite corner. So let's go ahead and do that. Select that location there, which is 414,000 and 6432. And that's put the image into the correct location. So I'm going to give that a name. I'm just going to call it Walperuta Geology. I'm going to save it into a project, give it a new name so I can easily find it later on, and save that georeferenced image. Okay, and now when we go back to the document, the search view, if I just refresh that, then what we'll see is that now there is spatial metadata not only associated with that image, but if we look for other images in that document, so let's just go ahead and search the other images in that document, we can now see there is spatial metadata associated with the entire document. Now, as you add further georeferenced images from the same document, the spatial metadata that's associated with the document can be altered and changed and expanded to cover a greater area if the images are from different locations. Now, to show that, I'm going to grab this image on the right here, which is from a slightly different or a slightly bigger area than the one that I've just referenced. So what I'm going to do now is georeference that one, and we'll see then how the spatial metadata changes. So currently, if I look at the spatial metadata for that area, that shows what it looks like. Let's go ahead and georeference this image. You can see it's a slightly different orientation, and it's actually quite a difficult one to do. So what I'm going to do here is just add in the previously georeferenced image that I have. So let's just jump to the little magnifying glass, load up the previous image, and then I'm going to use the previous georeferenced image to georeference this one. So let's go back to the georeferencing. Let's go to full screen to make it easier and zoom in a little bit. And then we can see the outline of the old tenement areas, and that's what I'm going to essentially use to georeference this new image. So let's try and get those in. Go to my layers, and what I can do is just sort of see how well I've managed to match the new area onto the old one. That's good enough for the demonstration. I'm going to give it a name. Call it Walperalto drill holes. Select it to the same document project, and then save that image. So we can see that this image is from a greater extent vertically than the previous one. So the metadata for the document should have now changed. So let's go back and show that. Let's jump out of the georeferencing, quickly refresh the screen, and if I look for the spatial metadata for the original, now we'll see how that's changed. You can see that the spatial metadata for the document is now reflects both georeferenced images. So that's it. It's very straightforward. The more images you georeference, the greater your spatial metadata becomes for each document, and that's an really easy way to build up a spatially searchable document library.